Hello. Thank you. Welcome. Our guest, our secret guest, is already in the chat and followed us. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We had a track going that we thought was long enough, but then it ran out, and I didn't realize. I was like, why is the vibe so weird? I thought I was gonna enter to like fanfare and music, and instead it was just like weird, awkward silence.
And I was like,
I had it all planned out. Little
seriously,
did I know.
click on the thing that where you can where the track.
Oh, that was on a different screen.
Can you go back to that one real quick?
And then we go away though.
I know. I just want to see.
Okay, 1 second, everyone. We're gonna do something weird. Welcome in, Obama's Weed Man. It is possible. Hello, welcome in, Daniel. Thanks everyone for being here. This is gonna be a fun night. We missed last week. We missed you all so much. Synth Friends is so special, so dear to our hearts. It's been so fun. And like 1 week off, I was like, no, I can't have this. This makes my life better. I need it.
I can't stand.
So basically, I'm saying a big fat happy Friday Junior.
Of a Thursday.
I know. We talk a lot about Thursday, but somebody today was calling it Friday Junior.
Friday Junior.
So I want to say a happy Friday Junior to everyone. Happy Wines Day. Whatever you're drinking, whatever you want to call it.
It sounds like a NASCAR racer.
So I just want to do my
Friday Junior.
Friday Junior.
Anybody Junior sounds like a NASCAR racer.
Like a BMXer. So I just want to make sure that everyone can see and hear us and taste and smell us and everything before we bring in our guest. Is everything working and everyone's happy and having a great time? Cupcakes? Yes. Oh, before we do that, I just want to do a little, what am I trying to say? Admin, I guess. Little admin. If you're here and you're having a good time and you want to have even more like retro cosmic fun with us this holiday season, we are doing something really special that you get to be a part of, and I think is going to bring more holiday cheer, cosmic cheer, seasonal cheer, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to tap into. We're doing something retro futuristic and we're really excited about it. And the only way to really get the best experience of it is to get on the list so that you will get inside the portal doors that not everybody's going to get into.
Get on the list, yeah.
So that's something that we're doing that's kind of already started, and it's just going to pick up steam like next week and then start going crazy. Okay, I'm seeing something about jalapeno bagel poppers at Friday Juniors. Oh, Friday Juniors is also a restaurant chain based off of this NASCAR driver. I think.
Or no,
or it's
TJ
like
Friday.
Owned by.
TGI Friday Junior.
TGI Friday Juniors.
That's the real NASCAR name. I named my kid where he was harvested. TGI Friday Junior.
This is already so off the rails. Okay, this is perfect. I'm so glad everyone's in such a good mood today and that we're feeling silly, because it is kind of like as the year gets closer to the end of the year, I'm starting to just feel sillier and sillier, and I hope everyone is here for that.
I certainly am.
We're going to bring our new synth friend in to the stream. That's the plan. Dwoger, thank you for the wine emotes. You always make me feel like I'm not drinking alone, which is number one for me.
Oh, wait. I got to get my glass of wine.
You don't have it?
It's back here.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're not leaving the room again.
Hey.
Okay, let's bring our friend Ash into the stream. Cheers, everyone. Welcome in.
Hi.
Into the stream again.
Oh, this is so
I'm
fun.
here with my little You Were Not Immune to Propaganda Garfield cup.
You got a little bit of Grandpa's old cough syrup in there.
Amazing. That was such great timing to have you come in right as everybody was throwing beverages on the screen. All the beverage emotes.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. Let's see. Yep.
Beer.
We were chatting about Friday. Have you ever heard Thursday called Friday Junior?
No, but I love that.
I know. I'm stealing it. I heard that today. Oh, Tangent Universes is drinking wine in a can. Is it sparkling wine? I feel like wine, like still wine in a can, doesn't sound good to me.
You would, Tangent. You would do that.
What am I missing in the chat? I'm just trying to catch up here a little bit. Okay, everyone's saying what they're drinking. Thank you, everyone. You read the assignment correctly. I'm having a beer, Dwoger. Hello from the Happy Valley. Mad Thoko. Welcome in. First time chat. Thank you. I don't know what the Happy Valley is though, but if that's just a mythical place,
yeah, I wonder.
Welcome. So would like to go there.
I would like to go there.
Hopefully you will welcome us there, or invite us. Dwoger would like to point out that he's actually Dwo Jr., which goes along with our Friday Junior conversation that we're having. Not as cool as Friday Junior, but yeah, Dwo Jr.
Don't correct me, Dwoger. I've been calling you Dwoger since you were knee-high.
Welcome to the stream. It's very casual. It's very happy hour infused. And we just want to kind of see if, like, oh, let's meet for a drink and see if we get along outside of just like, oh, we play shows together, or we all, do synth stuff. It's like, what else can we like vibe on and like just see what happens, and then see if we want to be friends outside of just clicking like on each other's photos.
Cool.
Yeah, that's basically the deal. And then the chat is just a little lively tonight, so I'm trying to keep up with it a little bit, and that kind of informs things. But yeah, I'd like to know more about this Happy Valley, but let's get to know Ash a little bit first before we try to go on like a vacation or a second location, as they say. Like, we don't want to go to a second location until we feel like we're on the same wavelength. So we, I think, collided through the things that started happening during the pandemic of like anyone who does synth stuff normally was doing it online, and then there would be these like huge, massive, like day-long streams on YouTube. That's mostly what we were seeing. Obviously, a lot of people joined Twitch at that time, and we did not. We were just kind of finding out of like, oh, that thing where we like to stay home but still do music. Like, oh, people are building infrastructure for that so that we can all do this from anywhere in the world and like have more accessibility to each other and to opportunities to perform for people who actually want to hear synth music. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
That's my like huge umbrella.
It was like Tales of Virtual Manifest Destiny. We were like, wow, the vast plains of internet existence that we could play music on.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it made us happy in just the sense of like having something positive to look at from it. So since that's sort of where we came to know about you, and then like through more interneting stuff, I'm curious if that was something you were already doing a lot of, or if the pandemic was informing that. And I know that you do some stuff like IRL outside playing sound things, so feel free to just like share about that, because I'm curious and I like to see what
absolutely. I think I've been doing the online sharing music thing for like about 5 years now. I think I started with what's that January month long? January. Yeah. I started doing that, like just like sharing every day of that month, and I got like a lot of like really good feedback from people, and I was like, holy shit, maybe I can just do this. I can share like my little sound design sketches online and see where it goes from there, because this is like something that I'm like newly interested in. And so I've just been doing that ever since then, and it's been great. I have like everyone's been super nice, the whole time, and just like I keep having people be like, hey, do you want to do this cool thing? And I'm like, hell yeah. And it was like a little like avalanche of like just community,
Yeah, we can definitely
It's
relate
awesome.
to that. I think there's something really we're like trying to figure it out, maybe sort of like investigative, of like, wait, like the internet doesn't always feel good, but like the synth people on the internet seem to be doing okay. Like we seem to be really
Yeah.
supportive and positive and helpful and like pretty like open source leaning and those kinds of
Hmm. Hmm.
things. So maybe it's just this little pocket we found. We have a theory that it has something to do with like modular specific kind of
Okay. Okay.
synth stuff, or maybe hardware.
I'm kind of shying
there's
away
like
from
something.
it being around modular myself. But
It's like such a, again, these terms. Like, what am I even saying? What does it
Yeah.
even mean?
Yeah. I think I started with like, Ableton and a MIDI keyboard,
Exactly.
and and that's how I started like gaining some of this community. And then I kind of moved on to like, oh, I see other people like playing with these things. And I was like, oh, what is that? That's so cool. I want to like try that or like get like a knockoff version of it or something,
Yes.
But yeah,
I understand.
I haven't yet gotten into modular. I do VCV Rack.
Yes, there you go. I was gonna say, no, I've seen that there's a VCV Rack in your life. Yeah,
True,
exactly.
True,
yeah. Let's not be synth gatekeepers, synth narcs about analog versus software versus hardware, analog versus digital. We know it's all, everything's just like been smeared together at this point. Like nothing has those same meanings anymore to me. I think
most
that's
of
why
my
I'm like,
gear is
it's so hard to talk about.
Is clones, so
right.
Like I look around here and I just have stuff because I like the way it sounds or the way it works. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
I
definitely.
think that's like. Sorry. I think that's the next foray for me is modular in the hardware version, because that's actually what got me into doing synths besides January. I like went down a rabbit hole on YouTube of like Heinbach when he was doing like just like modular stuff, and Annie and stuff like that.
Yes.
I went down that rabbit hole, and they were doing mostly modular stuff. But I got Ableton and a MIDI keyboard. But ever since then I've been trying to like get to a point where modular seems like it's the right choice for me.
Ooh, I love that you're trying to find the path that's like, oh, this one leads to modular.
Right.
Yeah.
But you haven't yet, and you're waiting for it to be right. And I respect that.
Yeah, I took Sarah Bellareed's course.
Oh, okay. Is that how you got into VCV Rack?
So that's how I got into VCV Rack, and I feel like I'm at a point where like I actually understand what's going on with modular stuff. So I feel ready, but I need more money.
There you go. That's all it is. Just a little bit of money between me and everything that I'm trying to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like VCV Rack is perfect for people who are curious about modular, and I've always said this, and I use it myself. If anybody ever asks us about modular, getting started with modular, that's always my first recommendation. And it's because like you can really like you can do everything from find versions of modules that actually exist, like the mutable instrument stuff, and it literally works exactly the same,
right?
If not better, because it's in a computer and you can save everything, and that is priceless. I used to just mock up patches, with the VCV Rack versions of anything that I actually had, because they have a lot of the Buchla style modules as well, and like. It's great for actually coming up with ideas. I come from a computer background myself.
This is not an ad, by the way.
I was using even going talking about Ableton, like I was using Ableton going back to like some of the earliest versions, because it was a way to get more creative with the DAW program. Because before that it was like everything was like Logic, it just existed in a linear, time scale, and there was some tricks and things that you could do to try to make it behave differently. But like there was no Ableton Live, and then all of a sudden that came out, and it was a way to like interface with hardware. So you could basically combine hardware and software and kind of get the best of both worlds with the automatic time stretching and all that. And it really was a game changer. I mean, that is what got me, I feel like, my sea legs on like trying all this electronic music technique stuff, because like you can just like try things and save sessions off, and it's no big deal. You're not spending hours like trying to troubleshoot scuzzy CD-ROM drives with your vintage sampler. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really easy. And
this is like our rant about how like, even though there's a perception that like modular synth, hardware, analog are things that are important to us, it's like it's all in the mix, and like the entry points, the way you get into things, the way you use things, like it all overlaps, I think.
I respect coming. I guess my point is for someone who also came at it from the software route. Like Reason was my first thing that I ever tried. I respect that entry point. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a fine entry point. If anything, I feel like you get a better overall understanding of how everything works, so that you can make good decisions.
There you go.
About how you want to go hardware wise. So I think it's really smart.
There are a lot of decisions to make. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think I went from DAW and a MIDI keyboard to, I believe it was a Korg Monologue and the Korg Voca FM.
Classic.
Was my next two. And I love those things still, even though I don't really use them very often anymore. But
that's how it goes.
They have a place in my heart,
Yeah, everything goes in cycles.
I can't part with them.
I hear that a lot, like that sequence that you just described of gear being the very common way that people get into all of this, and then like very quickly move on to other things. So
I think that's sort of why I think that's why I'm so pro the idea of like getting into software and like figuring out, like for instance, like starting out with Reason, you literally are given a MIDI studio that you can, reroute and stuff. And it's like, you could totally simulate, the entire system of what would cost you like $20,000 or whatever, like back then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I think Ableton and a MIDI keyboard is like $500, $600 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
but
like
what it's capable
really,
of is like hundreds of thousands.
If you get the full studio version, probably something like that.
I just want to shout out Rayanism's point in the chat of like the fact that you took Sarah's course, you're already using VCV Rack, you're already like miles ahead of people who have big modular rigs.
I agree.
I didn't say it. Rayanism said it, not me.
That is for sure almost.
Yeah, I don't want to be gatekeepy, but I don't want to buy a bunch of modules and like find out that that's not the way that I want to go with it, especially since it's like such it's kind of an expensive hobby. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Buying synths is an expensive hobby. It's not just modular.
Yeah, synths in general, but modular, I think, especially when you're just starting to build your first rig, like that's an undertaking. That'll hurt your brain a little bit.
Yeah. I know. I think I worked around the clock when I built my first system. Like you happened to be out of town.
Oh, I know. That's true. That was your very, very first.
Very, very first.
I had to leave the state so that he could like puzzle this.
It just happened to work out that way. But like, Jacqueline was gone, and like I would just spend every single night like until I went to sleep like planning my modular rig. So like it's time consuming. I mean, like literally, to think back now that I like. It was just like thinking.
It was just like 3 or 4 modules. It was like
it was like 3 or 4 modules, and I acted like it was like the biggest decision in my entire life. Like I feel like I made a bigger deal out of that than I did over like plans regarding our wedding.
Well, that's definitely true. That's 100. Oh my god, that's funny. Someone said just buy a Buco Skylab. Oh, Dodger.
I thought that was a pretty appropriate example, and also a good choice.
Oh, welcome in, Hayes Anderson, with the correct answer to what is gas. Get all stuffs.
Yeah, there you go.
Get all stuff.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, I think that we all are feeling very much resonating with this whole idea of everything you're saying, of like the process of getting into synths. Like we all have our origin stories and like our journeys to building the first rig. Like it's all just like bringing back so many memories for everyone, I can tell. So good, so good. So at this point, I would say like you have, let's drop your website here into the chat. You said there's like pretty much every link is going to be on this site, right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your music project. Like if you had to give like an elevator speech about like what your vibe.
No elevator speech. I hate that.
What your vibe is. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to use the word elevator. Can you
vibe
speech.
with us about your vibe, please?
Can you vibe? Please.
Well, I think I don't want to call it ambient, but it has a lot of ambient qualities, I think.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that I feel like it's not background music.
I was just gonna say, like, ambient is being gate kept. Unleash it. Call it ambient.
It's like dark ambient, and it veers into like noise sometimes. Maybe dark noise
because it gets like harsh, like sound design quality wise.
Like industrial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like dark reverbs, harsh metallic sounds.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you do any field recording?
I do some field recording stuff. I think every album has had some sort of field recording stuff. I have the Digitact, and I just kind of like run things through that, and it doesn't sound like the field recording at all anymore after a few sessions with it. So it's all kind of
very cool.
I don't know, mystical where the sound like sources come from, and I kind of like that about it. Yeah.
So you like mangling the sounds in the Digitact.
Yeah.
I recently purchased an Octatract. Octatract.
Okay, yeah.
And I actually had to send it back because it had like a bum key. And I was just like, well, I just bought this, so I'm gonna have
Such a bummer.
Did you buy it new?
Yeah. So I just sent it back. So hopefully I'll get one soon. But anyway, I was just starting to reacquaint myself with the Electron style,
right?
Because
it's been a while.
I've had a few like Electron machines back in the day.
Could I just say
it's a whole new workflow.
Yeah, Electron is very different. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I forgot that we've never talked about the fact that when we first met in the early 2000s, that Gus was literally like, all he had was Electron. All he talked about was Electron. He even like repped for them. Like he had like a business card.
I was that guy.
I don't even think
Electron.
I don't even think it was a real thing. I feel like they made up this because you were so into it. They were like, give the guy a title. Give him a card.
I think no, apparently there was a real program.
There was a real program.
There were like other people's names on the website.
But just like thinking back to that time and how like no one knew about it. We'd never been to NAMM. There was no Instagram.
It was the very early 2000s.
And like he was just like
Octatrack is super old, right?
Yeah.
I remember you sitting at
it was still after that stuff, and that's why I never had one. Like I never got one.
It was after
when
that
it first came out. Yeah, it was slightly after that, but it was still made to work with the machine drum and the mono machine. And those were the main two. I still have, talk about rebuying things. Like I finally rebought a SID station after a really long time.
Somebody saw that on the stream the other day and was like,
I've bought and sold SID stations like 3 times. And now I
don't even know what that is.
Oh, really?
Let's do a little SID station moment. This is just really taking me back. All these things like talking about Reason and like the SID station.
I can't really like hold it up.
Electron and everything. Oh, it's completely connected. Yeah. Well, tape loops are flying everywhere.
Yeah.
You can describe it. I think I want it to be synth storytelling time.
Why don't we just link to it in the chat?
No, it's not fun. To like send myself a link for it.
Is it like
it's
a drum machine or like a?
It's Electron's first synth.
You could,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like that gives.
Gotcha.
And it was based off of the 6581 SID chip, designed by the guy who later would go on and make all the Insonique samplers, a guy named Bob Yanis. Designed the chip, and it's just got that Commodore 64 video game sound, like basically 8-bit video game. It's got a filter and
I feel like I don't need to use a link anymore.
Envelope and all these, all these fancy like synth things to control the Commodore 64 chip, and it just sounds.
I thought I'd heard it all.
I know that we really went off on that.
That's chip tunes. Somebody said chip tunes. Like you can make chip tunes with it, but like honestly, in my opinion, what's cool about this synth is that it expands on that basic chip tune sound, and you can do some wild stuff with it. Like I mean, it sounds really good. Like it sounds.
To do a little like in our Discord.
It's very sci-fi in my opinion. Like you can make it sound really space age.
That's the key.
Effects.
I love that, yeah.
Thanks, Roger, for being here and trying to come up with a new genre for Hissquiet. I saw you in the chat trying to come up with a new genre. I love it. Thanks for being here, Dozier. Go enjoy your dub rehearsal. Sorry. I get like really pulled into the chat sometimes, and then I'm like, my brain gets split and I have a hard time with it. But the chiptunes reference was very helpful to remind me what we were talking about. Yeah, so it's like chiptunes plus.
Yeah, I mean...
chiptunes sci-fi.
That's what I make it sound like. It's a synthesizer. You can program it to do anything you want, I mean, like, that's the beauty of a synthesizer. But what I like about it is it's got a really grimy filter, and you can do some cool, like, almost like...
Does it have...
like guitarish style leads, like almost like fuzzy leads and stuff.
Does it have like the classic Electron like sequencer and workflow?
So that it does not have. It has, technically it does have like what some people would consider a sequencer. It's got this like wavetable programming aspect to it. Definitely not like your typical parameter lock sequencer, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah.
But you can program it to like fire, different oscillators, like in a sequence of time, and like it does have like a little makeshift sequencer in it.
Okay.
Or you could it's MIDI, so you could sequence it like with the
track
or something like that. Like the Digitac, does that have a sequencer, MIDI sequencer?
Oh yeah, it's got all the classic sequencer parameter locks and triggers and all that kind of.
But it can sequence external MIDI as well.
Yep, external. It can send out MIDI. You can use it as like a MIDI controller.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like their sampler.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as involved as the Octatrack. I'm like a little daunted by the Octatrack.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a lot.
Yeah, it can be a lot. I mean, I think the thing about it is it just is capable of so much,
Yeah.
So
we talk about those limitations all the time.
It's one of those things where you kind of have to put your own limitations on it. Like a lot of people that I've seen, that I guess sort of inspired me to even consider an Octatrack, like they'll use it for like a really specific purpose, like people that tend to use it, that effectively I think end up, dialing in on a specific aspect of it and then just using it in that way, because otherwise it's like, I don't know, I can't imagine like going from day to day and like using it in all the ways that it's useful, like a variety pack. But I guess, sure, I mean, if you're just messing around, you can do that too.
I mean, I guess it sort of leads you to the idea that like you're not going to be buying and selling that piece of gear very much, right? Because like you'll have so much more you can do with it over time.
It does seem like that. Well, it is very popular for people to buy it and then to like not like it.
Well, there's that.
And they'll instantly decide that it's not for their workflow. I've seen that happen a lot. You see a ton of them on Reverb and eBay and stuff. But I think, to your point, that's very possible. And I think that is, the other side of the coin with the users is that they have, it has all these things tricks up its sleeve, and you can kind of figure out a way to use it even as you grow and change, your setup. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's not just an auxiliary piece of gear.
And it's something that I think would complement the Digitact, even if you decided, like someday that you wanted to get an Octatrack. I don't think the two, I've heard people using the two together and still being really happy that they have both.
Yeah. I think the reason I would get one. Yeah. I think the reason I would get one is because the live looping seems really cool.
That is a really cool feature. Yeah, that's kind of my main squeeze with it.
That would be what it was.
Yeah, because I have a few different loopers, and to me, a looper is like the most fun way to interface with a synthesizer, like something like a modular or something like that.
I have so many.
Right, and you can just sort of like just get ideas going, and you never know what's gonna happen, and like I don't know, I just really like working that way. So the fact that it can do that, and then you can add like additional production on top of that, and it'll all sync up to the tempo of the loop that you recorded. Like that's super cool, actually. I think that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, we've like.
I would almost say that you would really enjoy one, because you were saying that you wanted the ability to loop and then have, but it's like I don't know.
I really love limitations,
it's a lot.
though.
Like she was saying.
Oh my god, I love limitations. Like just the less. There's already so much going on up here, So many ideas, so many things I want to try. Give me some limitations so that I can like problem solve almost through my creativity. Or just kind of know like the sandbox that I'm playing in, and then like anything is possible.
Do you?
It's overkill if you only use it
self-imposed.
Huh? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna ask. Do you use like self-imposed limitations, like for albums or for like jams or anything like that?
Me, yes.
I would say sure. Like the making of albums, which is like a process that we're in right now, is like very much about like sort of like I love food so much. Creating like a sauce, like the longer you can let it simmer, the more the flavors incorporate, and like it really becomes what it's really going to be. So it's sort of like creating the universe and adding all the ingredients and like getting the balance right, and then just like enjoying that. And then like the album comes from creating this like fertile environment that has like all of the elements, right? Which you could call limitations, or you could call like parameters, whatever you want to say, elements. And then we just, try to like just swim in that world of like whatever we've decided. But we try to, like you said about getting your synth setup going, is like letting it lead us there rather than feeling like we're determining. It's like it's a dance.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a great question. Oscillating and marinating. Yeah. Yes, Dorukan coming through with a summation of what I was trying to say.
New album name.
I love that. And it's just like tweaking a knob, and then it's like, but it's making sauce somehow. There's like.
I do love a good sauce, like in all its forms.
Yay! I'm so glad. I just very recently bought an immersion blender for the first time.
Dude, me too. Like it just came in the mail 2 days ago.
No, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Immersion.
I like literally last week used it for the first time. That is so crazy. What algorithm?
To make like soups and stuff?
Yeah, it's probably because it's soup season. But I'm like, we are living inside of some kind of algorithm that's making us do this. That's so
Synth
crazy.
Friends. You guys are immersion blender friends.
Okay, so I've used mine. So I just want to let you know it is way more satisfying than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Like I was excited about it.
Yeah.
But then when I did it and got the result, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever made. Like I was on cloud 11. Immersion blender. Because it just gets you going. You're like, all the soups I can make now. Like all the soups and sauces.
Just all the soups, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Super stoked. Super stoked. Because that's, again, like, as we're heading into the darkness of the year.
Yes.
Soups are what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about
because you
all
can
the
make a
things.
soup and then you can eat that soup for the rest of the week, and you don't have to make another meal again. It's
That
great.
is an added bonus. My freezer is going to be stocked to the gills this winter.
Yes.
6-month-old Homer Simpson company sandwich. Throw them with the immersion blender. Just make a nice sandwich milkshake.
Delicious.
Oh my god. Yeah, the whole immersion blender thing could really go off the rails pretty quickly. I could definitely see like an unhinged infomercial satire about immersion blenders. Where it just gets like wackier and wackier until it's like immersion blending his own arm off, you know.
Yes, I love that. I wonder if, because it makes, I haven't actually used it yet. Does yours make a lot of sound? Could you sample it?
I think it has, like, there were a lot of things I was playing with, right? So like the depth with which you do it, how fast, there's different settings, right? So there's going to be a lot of different opportunities there for sound. But the thing that I didn't do that because I was so focused on the fact that I did not know what to expect. I didn't know how it was going to feel. I didn't know how fast, how hard, how much, how deep. I didn't know. So I was really focused on, let me not lose a finger or like splatter this. The splatter potential was very high. The splattering was happening.
Yes.
And I was like, how do I, because of course the instructions are like, press the button and go. You know, it's like, you're not getting technique classes.
Yeah.
Before you use it. So I really didn't know what to expect.
Everybody follows the IKEA model now.
I've popped my cherry, so now I know what it feels like to use the immersion blender.
Do you feel more confident now?
I feel more confident, more free. It feels like something has changed about me. You know, I'm just feeling a different air. My aura has shifted.
You're feeling more confident in your sauces and soups.
Well, I just want to say this is the joy of Synth Friends for me, is like just a little wine and we find out that we both just bought immersion blenders. I mean, what are the chances?
Right?
I can't even believe that. I'm never going to stop talking about this. I'm going to be telling this story for the rest of my life. Oh my god, MIDI controlled blender. So this could take us like on a whole tangent about, I feel like when I experience your stuff and like things you're doing and what you're putting out there, it sort of puts me in this vibe of like, oh, what could we do with that sound or that approach or that space, right? Like,
hold on, let me load my salsa puree script.
I just feel like I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to see if you're someone who vibes with the idea of like kind of going into like a cave and, you know, bringing strange objects and being
not too deep into the cave, but
not too deep. I agree.
I don't want to get lost. I've read too many
creepypastas. Back out, yes. And then, you know, maybe being able to record that in that space and then feed it back in the space, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I actually just downloaded like a really good app where it has like a widget on my phone that I just press the button to record, so that anywhere I go, I can record a sound. So I went to the dollar store the other day, and they have all these like Christmas bells and all these weird things that you can make noise on and like look really weird in the dollar store doing, but
which everyone is. Anytime I'm in there, I'm doing something weird, and I see it's just a place to be weird, I think. Because like, why are you there?
Yeah.
Let's survey everyone we're in next time.
Dollar stores.
Like, what are you actually here for?
Dollar stores kind of remind me of like
something.
Walmart.
You're on a mission of some kind. It's not just for this item. It's about something larger that you're doing.
Dollar stores all the time are kind of like Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just all day long.
Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning vibe.
I love a dollar store, by the way. It's one of my favorite places. But anyway, so you were able to use the app on your phone?
yeah, just like record random stuff that I'm like, oh, that could be a cool sound for something later on. And now I just like, it's something that I just like think about throughout the day. Like, oh, this is making a sound that could be used in something, you know? And it's been like, I feel like I haven't figured out what my theme for my next album is going to be,
Ooh, cool.
or like what elements I want in it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be part of it somehow.
Field recordings, or
Yeah,
is
like
that
random
more
field
specific?
recordings.
It's like a subcategory somehow, specifically dollar
Yeah.
store field recordings.
I mean, I did, so not the dollar store.
Again, this is not an ad for the dollar store.
Just like everywhere that I go, I'm just taking field recordings of, you know, and it's just something I'm thinking about, like, right, like as we speak, like what,
perfect.
you know,
no, I love that.
what elements to my album sauce will there be, you know?
Yum.
What is your recorder of choice?
So I'm very fond of just kind of like whatever you bring with you is the thing that you're going to use the most, you know? So my phone.
Okay.
Just using my phone.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean, I have plenty of audio share recordings of being out and about.
Oh my God, so many.
Your chances of picking something up when you have your phone.
We did this once. So there's a park in our town, a park. Let's be real. There's like a park that has like
park.
something in it other than like, because like on the map you're like, oh, there's a park, and you go and it's like literally just an open field with like a fence around it. You know, it's like not a park. To me, it's like, where's the stuff, right? A park is stuff. Anyway, whew, you're not getting too far off. Reel me back in. This isn't a Nextdoor app. Okay. The big park that's supposed to be the attraction of like our town. It's so cute, you know. They have giant musical instruments. This is my point.
Ooh.
So we just happened to be on a walk one day past it. Didn't know it was gonna. We happened upon it. Let's just say, and it happened to be a busy day, so there was a lot of kids banging away at all the different things. So like giant xylophones and giant things that just, you know, jump on this and it makes a sound and a color, and right, there's like all kinds of stuff like that. Bells, like big bell sounds, and anyway, we did some field recording with our phones, right? Because you're out and about and you're not planning to go to the park to record the children. That was not a thing I said I was going to do.
I feel like you're confusing two separate outings. I know they all kind of run together with Fort Wayne.
That's okay, because this is my story. So we're just going to keep it going on this path.
Okay.
This is the way it's going to be told for centuries now. But we did. The whole point is that like we didn't know this was going to happen. That we were going to happen upon giant instruments and children playing them, which is like its own thing of weirdness. So we busted out our phones and just started recording it. And then I remember later we were like making some tape loop stuff, and I was like, let's record the bells from the kids and like the chatter of children, right? It's so creepy. And recorded that to tape loops and then started manipulating that. And
the rest is history.
The rest is history. That was the longest tale.
That's so cool.
As old as time. But the idea that like when you're out in the world and you're going to happen upon something like that's making a musical sound or something that, or a rhythmic experience of some kind, you have to be able to capture
I feel like it's more personal than like, you know, downloading something from Splice, which is fine. Totally fine. I'm not gatekeeping. But you know, I like the idea of like no one else knows that this is my recording versus like a Splice recording, but it just feels more,
they have I feel like different magical utilities, right? Like I wouldn't go to Splice to find something magical to manipulate, to mangle. Oh, let's see if we return. I want a little theme song that happens in the.
Let's see if we return to being friends. No one will be friends with us. Will we continue?
It's like an 80s TV show theme song. That's like, will they return? Yeah, okay. You came back, yay!
Hi.
We were singing a song about will you come back. And I already, I'm like, what were we talking about? I don't even remember now. We went through this strange portal. We were talking about field recording, so I was talking shit about I think what I was trying to say is that you would use Splice for a different reason than you'd want to like record something you happened upon that's like a mystical experience for you to like play with sound that you're creating in a space.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page about that. We agree. Okay, check. Next. What else? What else can we agree about?
Do you ever use Type?
Oh, Matt Zoko wants me to ask about in the park, about the synth picnics. Okay. I'm asking about synth picnics.
Yeah, Synth Picnics. So there's a thing that was started by Carolyn, Tangent Universes.
I was going to say, we've heard Carolyn talk about it, but I didn't know if it was part of something bigger or it's actually something she started.
Yeah, it's something she started, and I was like, holy shit, you can just do these things. That's cool. And so I was like, I've always wanted to do something like this. I just moved to this new area, and I'm going to just like reach out to a bunch of strangers from the internet that I vaguely know are in the area and see if they want to come to this thing. And so like, I was very surprised the first time, like There's 5 other people showed up.
And
yeah, Carolyn's trying to say that this is a whole spiral, I guess. Or is it a pyramid? What is Synth Picnic? Is it the Illuminati?
Synth pyramid.
Yeah, that seemed to light people up. I love that. There's just weird people. Wait, people being weird with synths outside. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
that's the mission statement.
Yeah, basically being weird with synths outside. I added so hers is Synth Picnic and mine is like Synth Noise Picnic because I feel like that's a little bit like more my realm of music. And so that's kind of like what I wanted to bring into like my space. And so yeah, I was just like I added a bunch of people to an Instagram group, and I was like, hey, do you want to go to the top of a mountain and play synth music and noise music with me? And like 5 people showed up, and it was great.
Yeah. Wow. Were you like lugging like a PA system up a mountain? Like how did that all work? That sounds
so it's like I was like bring your own you know, if you have a PA system, if you have like synths with their own built-in speakers. I have like a little portable Roland speaker or amp.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's battery powered.
Oh, that's cool.
So I brought that. It has like 4 inputs. And I usually have like 2 that are my own and 2 that other people can use. So yeah, we made it work. So cool. Some people brought some like acoustic instruments as well. You know, for the last one, I brought my bass clarinet.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't played that thing in so long, but it was awesome. It was fun to do. It felt very like low pressure, you know. I did record it, and it is up on Bandcamp.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, it was. So yeah, I put it up on Bandcamp. We actually. So this was the second one, and this was at an abandoned prison. In Western Mass.
Whoa, that's so wow. Okay, I'm into this.
Dude, that's like Kesha's show.
This is very in line with the vibes of our Synth Friends chats, things that come up. Wow.
Yeah, someone from the like first one was like, "Hey, this is a really cool spot to go play for the next one," and everyone was like super into it because, like, you know, abandoned prison, yes. So it was a really cool spot. Like, there's we set up in I think it was the like vegetable cellar of the prison. So it's like this big like like little tunnel area.
Just like we were talking about going into caves and doing weird synth
Yeah.
stuff.
You know, people got knocked off in the vegetable cellar. The vegetables would cover up the smell.
Oh my God, yeah. Someone said that it's haunted there. Like one of the wives of
Shocker.
The guards there or something is haunting it.
Holy cow. Okay, I mean, I don't even know what streaming platform it's on. It's like Discovery Plus or something random that I had to buy just to get access to it. But like Kesha did this show where she goes to all these kinds.
We've talked about it before.
I know,
we'll talk about it again.
Literally, if this had
Kesha show.
the last, what was it, like 2 or 3 Synth Friends ago, the person we were talking to about like sci-fi stuff was like, oh no, tell me about the Kesha show. I'm gonna go home and watch it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just tell people. People seem to be into it, but she takes like another celebrity with her in every episode, a different person every time, to different places like that. And they do all the things. They use all the gadgets, but it's like the best quality.
They ghost
bust. So I think what's fun about it and why we like it is because it's like a little bit mystical, as we've been saying, but also like they're using like equipment. They're like looking at oscilloscopes and like trying to read the energy. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like
that's cool.
like what we're into. It's like sound.
Yeah, I feel like
movement, things like invisible waves. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're hoping that
we definitely fed off the air.
Special guests that can conjure the spirit with sound.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Like there's just like a lot of references to sound.
If we talk about her enough in this show, maybe
she's gonna just appear one of these days. She'll be like, sorry, did you summon me?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about me on the Twitch show.
It came through
with 15 plus viewers, and we're gonna have you do.
Oh, she's always listening. She's always listening.
Everywhere. She's everywhere.
For everything.
She's omnipresent.
There's also
who is,
So we used to live in LA, and there just happened to be this moment where we encountered her in real life. So we also have that going.
Really?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, because she
cool.
her guitar player at the time was someone that we knew. And so when they came through from a tour, they were hanging out, and she knighted Gus in the name of Kesha.
Whoa.
It's like legit. She's such a witch.
And I also played Buka on Taylor Swift's new album. But
that's an LOL, but that's just an inside joke.
No, I'm kidding. But I did actually get knighted. One of these things is true. Which one? I did actually get knighted by Kesha.
Oh my god, Daniel's saying we need to do another show where we rewatch the show. Kesha's show and talk about it. That's funny. It just seems to be this interesting like crossover with people, like anybody in our Synth Friends universe, as we call it, which is just like people, I guess, like people who are doing weird stuff with synths. Like I don't know what that niche is, but we're trying to figure it out.
Oh fuck, Daniel, you're right.
Right, yeah, don't bring up the Taylor Swift stuff. Fuck.
What am I thinking?
But we're also like, there's this element of like which comes up with like our study of early electronic artists. Like some of them were into like some spooky stuff, you know what I mean? They thought electronic music was like the conjuring of worlds, and that bringing it about was going to change things, or that it was going to, they were talking about like the singularity and stuff like that at that time. So
yeah, true.
I don't know. It's like robots and sci-fi and the space race and electronic music. It's all like in a bag being like shaken up together. And then like down the line, here we all are just being weird and like, why are we all so weird?
There's this lady that my friend who has gone to this synth picnics, who also does something similar, but he never was able to get like very many people to go, which was really sad. But I went before it was before my first synth noise picnic. But there was this other lady here, her name was Bonnie, and they were talking about how Western Mass has like something weird in the air, like, or like the drinking water is different or something, that like makes Western Mass have like this huge experimental music scene.
Oh, whoa.
Which like I definitely found out about because I messaged all these people being like, hey, I want to do the Synth Noise Picnic. Let me know if there's anything like this in the area. And there was a bunch of stuff going on, like in the area that's like experimental music or synth music and stuff like that. So I was like, holy shit, there's this whole like community here. It was really cool to find out about. Yeah.
Oh, it was like you just tapped like on one little door and it like took you into a labyrinth of where everybody was already.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Wow. That's how I feel about Twitch.
Yeah.
Like we got on here, we found like one other person doing synth stuff, and then it like opened us up to like thousands of people who are doing synth stuff here all around the world. It's so cool. But to be in your local scene and to find that there is something really special about it. That like even though I love that we can all connect so easily on the internet, like your local scene is like its own much more mystical
I wouldn't have been able to find out about the local scene if it wasn't for the online scene. So
there you go. Exactly. Like
feeds off of each other.
That is such a good point. Because sometimes it starts at like the message board.
Yeah.
You pin your note and you wait to see if anyone calls you.
So
or whatever.
This actually reminds me of before you and I actually met. I was living in the DC area, and I actually put an ad in Craigslist. It was literally just like, hey, I'm a guy who uses Ableton. I want to connect with other people that are interested in it even. Like, you don't have to have it. Like, I just want to, like, talk to other people that make music with their computer. And I was meeting with two people at a coffee shop, basically, in Arlington.
At the same time? Like, this created this hang?
Yeah, and it was that guy, John, that, like, still hits me up every once in a while. And someone else that I don't even remember who it was. It was a long time ago. It was like maybe like
like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It was...
Holy cow.
Time flies. Anyway. But yeah, like cool. I feel like I made such a strong connection with the couple people that I would meet with, just because like we had this common ground of like, we could just talk about latency and stuff. Like, there's not that much to talk about with,
oh my god,
with like, making music with a computer, but like, we just would basically just pull it up and like play a couple loops in the coffee shop and basically just bullshit and like probably end up going to a bar later. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like, this community of people that just enjoyed making music on the laptop, and it was probably one of the strongest connections I made, like in a real life situation, that was, it was prompted from the internet, but it developed in real life.
Oh,
awesome.
Thanks for the heart.
Yeah,
I appreciate the
love
heart.
this.
I got like a few shows from like kind of trying to do this thing. I have a show in December with a few folks. I had a show. I was supposed to have a show, but one of the guys got COVID, so that didn't happen. And then I did like an improv show with another guy, Omega Vague, on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
It was my first time improving with someone else live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really fun time. Like we'd like done the synth picnic, and then we like hung out one other time to just like practice, and then the next time we hung out was the show. So we didn't have like a lot of time to like kind of like mesh with each other.
Develop. But the sauce is a little bit.
It was still really fun.
Yeah. The sauce was still enjoyed, but had it marinated longer, would have had a different flavor profile. Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, how. So many questions.
How do your nerves hold up when you improvise live?
Ooh.
It is really. I don't know. I deal with a lot of anxiety. And it doesn't get any better when I'm improvising. There are moments where I realize that, I was in that moment for a second. Mm-hmm. Like And those are really cool. Like, and every time I do like another show, there's more and more of those moments where
Mm.
I'm like actually like not in my head and I'm just like, you know, vibing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so like
Totally.
those are really cool, like growth moments for me. I
Yeah.
feel like they're things that I want to do. And so I do them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's fun.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm usually shitting bricks like when I play live. Like I get
Yeah.
I get really nervous. And sometimes like it used to be really bad to the point to where like I would like be like convulsing after the performance, kind of like you were after you had your
Mhm.
recent doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So you understand that sensation.
I had this week I had to have like a minor procedure on something that's been going on, and I'd never
Oh no.
experienced that much
An
pain.
adrenaline
I've never
rush.
experienced that much adrenaline or pain. Like there was nothing they could do to like not numb me or anything like that. It just had to like be done.
Mm,
And I
wow.
was like shit, like my whole everything was chattering and shit, and I was just like, wow, I've never experienced this before, like uncontrollable body stuff. So that's a
Yeah.
tangent. That was a fun one.
Daniel,
but...
I don't think you've seen me at the height of this nervousness though. Like I would say that like that last show I wasn't that nervous.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Is like
It was
I
pretty
get
small.
what you're
It was
saying.
pretty low key.
Like the more you do it, the less you'll feel it. But I also feel like in my experience, most of my anxiety, like being on stage, actively having like a panic attack, was when we were doing more like structured, like rehearsed,
Yeah.
wrote things. You know,
Like we would actually write songs and play them.
and play them. You know, like me,
like the CD.
like a music concert. I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Those would freak me out.
A concert, I think.
Concert is a cert.
Is what it's called. Yeah.
But when we improvise, like it's like a different kind of nerves. It's more of an excited nerves because you don't know what's gonna happen either. So I think for me, it's like once I did that enough, it kind of like wore itself out because it's not the same. This panic that I would have about like everything has to go right or this whole thing goes off the rails. Like when everything's pre-done. Yeah. Like I can't handle it. It's not fun. It's right.
Yeah.
Like everything's gonna give me
those one or two nights where we'd finally fucking like get in a groove.
When it happens, it's very cool. But
it's really cool. But like most of the time, it's like
there's so many other variables when you play live too that will cause that kind of higher level of anxiety. Like arriving at the venue, the way the sound check goes, and all of that, which is why I love the idea of improvising, streaming, playing synth picnics, being in a casual environment,
around positive.
Yeah,
people.
I love synth picnics because it's just like, it's not a show. You're not putting on a show or anything. It's just a bunch of nerds getting together, messing around.
Right.
You can get up and like walk around like the area because every place that we've been to is like freaking gorgeous, and then come back and like start something up, and it's just, I like that. I feel like the recording might be a little meandering because it's like a 3-hour long like meetup that's not a show.
Right, exactly.
But it's a really fun time, like, and I don't have the anxiety that I have during shows during that. So it's very nice to like do music with other people where it's not like my heart is not like going
where
crazy.
You can like your body can like have this sense memory of like I enjoy this feeling of playing music.
Yeah.
Versus like I should be terrified. Exactly. I think we actually talked about this with Carolyn when she was on what she's saying in the chat of like how important it is to like use those different parts of your brain with music. So like we're in focus mode when we're recording or writing, or we're in like performance mode or prep mode, or there's these different modes you get into, but the mode that like as you get older you spend less time in, which is like the playground mode. Like being in your sandbox with your friends, no rules. We're just there to play. That is so enriching and so important to like you can't not have that in the sauce. It's part of the sauce.
It's part of the sauce.
It is part of the sauce. Oh my goodness.
I love that.
It's funny you should talk about Sandbox because the cellar portion of the abandoned prison was literally just like loose dirt everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I put like a blanket down and like dirt got all over all of my gear.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wash the blanket twice. It was a wild time.
Do you happen to know if the prison was made out of limestone?
I have no idea. Yeah.
So that's another thing to check into if you go back. If you watch the Kesha show, they explain why buildings made of limestone are extra creepy.
Oh. Can you explain?
It's related to sound.
It's related to acoustic properties.
Yeah. Well, they talked about how they considered this one building that I think was an insane asylum. They said it was the largest tape recorder in the world. But it was just like the largest limestone building.
It has a memory to it.
That's really cool.
Basically record the vibrations. And,
wow. Is there like a way
it's like the most conductive
those recordings
stone.
Back?
I don't know how they like pick it up, know it, understand it, interpret it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that translates, but yeah, I think what it was like it's the most conductive, because they were talking about like tape and like why tape actually has like a quality. It's not just tape; it has, oxide, right? Like it has a texture, a 3-dimension, a property to it that makes it other in a way and mystical in a way. So I think they were trying to explain how limestone conducts in that same way to the way that tape works in capturing the essence.
In other words, if there were like lost souls that were trapped within the confines of this limestone
so creepy
prison, that they would, the frequency would resonate and vibrate, and they would find themselves in a suitable home. It's a more suitable home for the ghouls.
I'm starting to believe less and less in this as we talk more and more about it, but there's something to do with limestone. And I just love the idea that Darukan in the chat is like, oh no, what's scarier than ghosts? Getting dirt in your gear.
I know.
I couldn't handle that.
That's what I was going to say when you brought that up, was like, that's the real like behind the scenes trailer of doing Synth Picnic is actually that there's dirt in your gear.
Well, the beauty of modular is, though, at least with, you get into this habit of, like, I've built a lot of the stuff in my system, and I'm really comfortable with the idea of, like, at least most people are comfortable with taking the panels out, and, like, if you get some dirt in there, you just take them out. And
that's true.
Vacuum it up and put it back to, I wouldn't sweat that, I guess.
You wouldn't sweat that, but what would you sweat?
I would sweat... Well, honestly, when it comes to gear, not much, because I would sweat more like the digital, like the electron stuff. I would say, is more sensitive than my modular.
Yeah, I did bring the Dig Attack, so we'll see how that holds up in like the next year with a bunch of dirt in it.
Yeah, like I would be more concerned because like the rack mount holes and stuff in it, like it's exposed those enclosures. I would say, whereas like the modular, like. I would say I'd be much less worried about dirt.
You say that now.
Tape machines. Big time.
Oof, no.
Don't do dirt with tape machines.
Not taking any tape machines to the Synth Picnic. Not happening.
But I don't know. Honestly, like
I did bring one of those actually.
Oh my god, what are the chances? That's so funny.
Yeah. I brought like a mini like Sony Walkman that has the slow speed and the half speed and the half high speed. And I brought like this weird tape about like past lives or whatever that I got thrifting.
Oh, that's the best.
And like, yeah.
Those are the ones you want to use.
I have this pedal from Low Sounds. I don't know if you know them. She makes she makes a bunch of like fuzz pedals and other things.
Haven't heard of
But
it,
she's
but
awesome.
sounds cool. We should put a link in the chat.
Throw all the links.
Yeah,
Not an ad,
but I bought a fuzz pedal from her, and she also like sent me this really cool, like it's like just like a little noise box. It has like a bunch of nails in it and like little like guitar, like little bits of guitar string hanging out, and it's got like a 1/4-inch jack, but it's got like it's got a what's it called, a contact mic in it.
Right.
So I can use it to like sing into, or here I brought the Walkman, and I kind of just like put the speaker up to it so that it would go through my pedal chain that I brought there as well.
Yes.
That's sweet. Yeah, I bet you that sounded really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like where there's a will, there's a way. And then that usually produces something you weren't expecting, and then that's even cooler.
Plus, fuzz pedals are
covers
awesome.
all your bases.
Yeah.
I love a good fuzz pedal, especially like
a
boutique-y, nasty sounding one.
Yeah, let me show you this pedal because it's really gorgeous.
Ooh, yay! We get to see some gear. Welcome in, Reed Sounds. We've been hanging out a little bit, but there's definitely some hang time here. Ooh,
it's like hand painted and everything. Like I got to choose my own colors.
Oh, what? Oh, that's
really
so smart.
gorgeous.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you showed us. That's amazing.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It's like a really lush, like fuzz. You know, it's like
right.
It's not very harsh or anything like that.
Gotcha. Does it clean up in the sense that like if you were to like turn the signal level of whatever you're feeding it down, do you hear like the amount of like fuzz like kind of like go down with it? Like, does that make sense? There's just this phenomenon with fuzz pedals that I love. They call it cleanup, where like, you know, basically the amount of like the intensity of the fuzz sort of increases with the amount of signal level that you send it. And I know that sounds like pretty obvious that would happen, but it happens in this really like kind of natural way. That almost reminds
I'm
me
not sure about that. Low Sounds told me about how I could like make the noise less noisy, but I didn't really pay attention. I like the noise that it produces.
Yeah, you want noise.
So it's all good with me, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're like, thank you, I will play with this now.
Right.
Yeah.
The SID station that we were talking about earlier is very noisy, and that never bothered me.
Yeah.
It's just noisy.
Yeah.
That's a really
another
good
texture.
I was gonna say that whole conversation we're always having about like this piece of gear versus that, digital versus analog, blah blah blah. And like we were saying earlier, it's like I like this, I like what it does, I like the way it sounds. It's doing what I want, or it's surprising me in the ways that I want to be surprised. Who cares about all that other stuff?
Like there's no good or bad and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's all subjective.
It's just how you can use it. Yeah.
Yeah, which side of the kaleidoscope you're on at the time.
Because, you know, for every story where like you think you can guess the gear that people use and stuff like that, there's a story where like the person's gonna blow your mind.
Like, no, it's a field recording of my dog that I reversed. You know, like
or even just the like, oh yeah, I mean, I made this on like a $20 sampler.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Like an Atari, like yeah, that kind of
chip
thing.
tunes. Bring it out. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Sweet. So you were talking earlier about like how you're getting ready to start a new album, like birthing process.
Yeah.
Like the
try to get an album.
Or...
No, like the birthing.
No. Like just like trying to figure out all the songs and everything.
Okay.
I try to put out something once a year.
Ooh.
Just to like challenge myself to do that aspect of it.
That's challenging.
Because I think it's just way too easy to just do random jams and post them online. You know, that's like, fun. That's a fun aspect of it, you know. But it's I feel like it's not everything. I want to put the time in to like make a full length piece of music, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're already answering my
even
other
if it may not get as much.
Yeah. Right, because like that
Was your other question?
of just like the ideas of balancing like content creating versus creating, you know, versus stuff you're doing that you're showing versus what you're not showing, and like how to decide all of that.
Yeah.
And like the need to have things that you're not showing, that's like important to the process, because things that are shown affect you differently. And then if you're in process of something, you might not want that feedback experience.
Yeah. I find that I go back to a lot of the recordings that I make in the year and like kind of try to find like, okay, what am I into doing this year and how can I bring that into like a long format like thing. And sometimes I'll have like a jam that I did for like, you know, the content. And that will actually make it onto the album just as it is.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like
that
sometimes,
happens.
yeah.
I love this idea of like,
I find that happens, yeah.
There's like you know, we talk about like big pharma and shit or whatever, but like big content. It's like this thing we're all like feeding. But it's also like, if we didn't have that, like, what would I be doing? Like giving me these parameters to do things, to create all the time. And then seeing what other people are doing and getting that inspiration point in the mix.
Inspiration, yeah, for sure.
I find that.
Yeah, I like to call mine my Instagram like my sound design sketchbook.
Yes.
So like these are like my sketches that you're seeing, you know, versus just like I'm making content for content's sake. You know, they're like notes for me in the future.
Hell yeah.
Well, I like that.
That's very cool.
And if other people like them, that's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely is a bonus just to be able to share it and know that like people are digging it, for sure.
Yeah.
That's fun. Because then you're like, you get to have that balance of like, I'm in creation mode, I'm in my studio, I'm in my own world, but like, I'm not totally alone. I can reach out and there's people there going, yeah, keep going.
Exactly.
Really helpful.
There's a lot of shit that I make on my own, or like just stuff that I don't feel like is share worthy, maybe, you know.
Oh, I've got piles.
yeah, you get it. But yeah, so everything that I post online is like, oh, there's like something in my head that's like, oh, maybe I should share this with the world and see what they think.
Yeah, it's sort of like, this is something I want in the sketchbook.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Because it's like, it's your feed really that you're filling. You're not just like throwing things into the void. It happens to go into this other portal where people see it, but like really you're building your sketchbook for yourself on your page.
Yeah, it's really narcissistic how often like I like go back and look at my own things, you know. But that's what it's for. It's just,
I hope that's
it's just online. It's like my sketchbook, but it's online. Yeah.
It's all organized right there. You know, like I already put the work in to put it there in that format so that it would be organized and consumable. So why wouldn't I want to consume it? Like that's what it's for, right? Like I should be
So I'm not the only one.
I should also be in the group of people who are enjoying consuming it, or at least I have a purpose to consume it.
Digital moleskin.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, Moleskin, is that someone's name in the chat? And then I realized
I didn't know why you said it, and now I know because it was Carolyn in the chat, of course.
That I just did that.
Oh my god, we were like in this moment, and then you just like broke it.
I love that it happened that way.
You broke the fourth wall. Oh my god, of course, Carolyn. So funny. It is though. I think that I do remember an era when I was trying to still cling to like carrying physical journals and notepads and lyric books and whatever. Now I don't go anywhere, so I don't need those things. But oh
yeah.
shit, are you okay? I almost knocked the wine. It's funny, right as Carolyn's like she's the vibe killer with the can of wine, I like knocked your wine over.
No, I'm good. Yeah, it didn't spill anything.
Oh my god.
No tragedies happened.
Well, I know like the can of like the gin and tonic in a can that Carolyn had when she was on with us that we've also had is like top notch. But I've not had wine in a can. Canned wine.
Yeah. I feel like that's just asking for a headache.
I mean, truly, if you're drinking alcohol from that situation is like we talked about before. If you eat dairy knowingly, it's just sort of like I'm gonna enjoy myself in this moment, knowing that I won't enjoy myself later.
Tangent headaches over there drinks a lot of canned beverages.
Tangent headaches.
Oh my god. Speaking of, I'll have a little water. Mix it up. Remember to drink water.
There you go. Yeah, I love wine. I just it gives me a headache instantly, and also the next day acid reflux. So it's just like my body's like, no, do not ingest this anymore.
Body rejects wine. See,
yeah, it really does.
My Catholic body is like, you have the blood in you. You're ready to go. You can pass a test. You could.
I know your
surf
family.
A wave. You could.
Your family always has
hit
a little wine.
Run.
There's always people around, and you're like, there's just like, give me a little wine. Like they're always there with like a little something to give you at any time when you're wanting. So yeah, it definitely runs in the family for you. But I know what you mean. Like there are times when my body is just like, I can't allow you to do this right now. It's not.
Yeah, you have not hydrated for a week. Yeah. You cannot have alcohol right now.
Yeah, like I definitely get those parameters, because there'll be things that I like normally can and I'm fine, and it's like no. And then sometimes things I normally can't, it's like no, you can have this today. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You're in charge. I'll try to listen better.
Yeah, that's important, you know.
And then on nights when I don't have treats, I make up for it by making egg sandwiches.
Oh man, we really like to reward ourselves because life is hard, and like any way that you can enjoy yourself, I think really helps. Really helps.
Yeah.
So food is one. Obviously, we talk about food and wine constantly. It's all we have really at the end of the day to keep us warm. Soups, all these things. But I do think that there is a creativity that parallels in craft cocktails or a fancy sauce, if you will, and music making. We talk about this a lot, like how we're sort of like chefs in the studio and mixers in the kitchen.
Yeah, I like that.
Because they're so similar.
It goes hand in hand.
When you look at the process.
I say...
You have just a little too much salt. It's over.
It's screwed. Yeah. Kidneys blown up, ruined.
No, the meal is ruined. I guess I was trying to think of what would be an audio equivalent of that, and I just couldn't. But then I didn't want to cut you off.
Okay. Yeah, I am okay at cooking. But my partner is more of the they're excited to cook person. I got like an air fryer recently.
Very
and
exciting.
If I can make it in the air fryer, we're all good.
Well, according to the internet, you can literally make, a 17-course meal in the air fryer. So from what I can tell, you've got it made. That's one thing I don't have yet. So I'm very, jealous. Obviously I could get one, but oh my God, we got kicked out again. Let's see if our air fryer conversation was thrilling enough to bring Ash back one more time. Even if it's just to say like, yes, this was fun. We'll see. We'll see. We got two of us. Enjoyed each other's presence. That's one of my favorite things that Kristen Wiig and what's his face? Why can't I think of his name from Portlandia? It's the guy who goes block.
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen and Kristen Wiig will do this bit where they sing at the same time, facing each other. Sorry, this is crazy. And as they're going, they like try to figure out what they're gonna say. I think one person's in the lead. I know this from being a theater kid. This is an exercise that you do, but usually it's like mirroring with your hands, like you'll do this, like one person will be in the lead and then you do it long enough until you can't tell who's in the lead anymore. You're mirroring each other.
I'm not gonna hand you right now.
You're not gonna hand me? Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, thank you, Carolyn. The Fred. I like to cook. I like to make cocktails. I like to synth. Yes, Ryanism gets it. Synths.
Yay! Hey, we could be Synth Friends.
Oh my gosh! Yay!
Okay. Back.
I was willing to do another hour on soups by myself, but I'm glad you came back.
We are starting to have our doubts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ryan.
Like I said, I was gonna use this for a bathroom break.
Oh, so. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Take all the time you need. Leave whenever. Come back whenever. There's a point at which we won't be here anymore, but up until then, we can do whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, we were just. Why were we talking about this? Gus was singing and I was trying to pretend like I was singing along without really knowing what he was going to be singing. So we were talking about that thing that,
cute.
Like Kristen, it's like it
wasn't it's a way of life.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen Kristen Wiig and Fred Armisen do it when they sing at each other. And like one of them is making it up as they go and the other one is sort of like watching their mouth and trying to sing along with them.
Singing along with them, yeah.
But like,
I think me and my partner do a version of this, yeah.
Okay, great. You totally get it then. Yay, amazing. Yeah. So we were talking about that. And I was like, it's like that exercise we used to do in theater camp of like when you'd mirror each other's hands until you couldn't tell who was leading anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the idea of doing stuff like that, like if that still sounds exciting to you, but like throw in like sound exercises and stuff, then I think we're like on the same wavelength.
Wait, are we talking about like creating a retreat space?
No, not doing like that
in southern Montana.
Synth Picnic Montana edition.
Yes, worldwide.
We're taking over the world.
Synth Picnic Worldwide.
And Suzanne Ciani is like the doula.
Synth doula. Oh, she helps you give birth to your first modular rig.
No, she's just there. And she like.
Oh my God, she holds your hand while you like press the button on the PayPal.
She hands out drugs and leads you through a psychedelic experience.
I mean,
beautiful.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, we'll have to let her know that she's.
Everything I say is alleged. Nothing I say is true. Nothing is fact.
Oh my gosh, somebody knows what I'm talking about in the chat. Thank you, Matt Thogo. Garth and Kat, exactly. It was sort of like, it reminded me of sort of like adjacent to like when they would do the now I can't remember what it's called. Why do I feel so old? Referencing when Kristen Wiig was on SNL, it feels like 1,000 years ago.
It should.
In my day. Like when Will Ferrell was doing the middle school music teacher skit. Like, what am I right now?
There's a new kid on the scene.
Before there was TikTok, there was this TV show. It's still on, but they don't know no one's watching. We just let them keep doing it. Can you imagine if there was like an SNL, but it was just synths, just like a synth picnic type of thing, right?
Synth
just like
Night Live.
I'd be into that.
Synth Night Live. Why didn't I? That was right there, and I didn't grab it. Are you kidding me?
What did you say?
He said Synth Night Live.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. It's obvious. I overreacted because I couldn't believe I didn't think of it. But it's just sketch comedy. It's improv sketches, right? So what if there was a prime time Saturday night sketch show? Just noise.
Yeah, I want to listen. I want to be in that universe.
I know, right?
Like send me there, please.
Can we time jump somehow? Like get into the Matrix. Keanu, help us.
Welcome to your noise bath.
Yeah, and like every episode has a host and a musical guest, but a comedy guest. Flip it.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes. I love it.
Oh my god. And the opening monologue, okay, how could I do it? The opening monologue is the host doing solo synth stuff backed by an improv troupe of comedians doing movement.
All right.
Trying to flip because there's a band behind the.
But unfortunately, it would be like Machine Gun Kelly's kid.
Oh no, would be like doing all the parts.
No, not in our universe.
No,
we
run
not
this
in our
universe. Suzanne Ciani is our god in this universe. Okay, there's no Machine Gun Kelly.
Please no.
Oh my god. Synth Friends is taking over.
It would be like AK-47.
We're taking Synth Picnic's primetime. Suzanne Ciani is Lorne, exactly. Oh my god.
AK-47 Killians.
Okay, that got me. Thank you guys for letting me just laugh it out a little. It's the little things.
Yeah, Suzanne Ciani is Lorne. Exactly. You and I are on the same wavelength, tangent universes.
So, can you find us a tangent universe to travel to where we can do this? I'm ready.
Yeah.
I want to
go to there.
I want to go to there, exactly. I was gonna say. It's like, I want to live in an America where comedy is replaced by synths. Every household has a modular. No child left behind.
For real though, this time they all get a synth.
For real though, this time, like, I was gonna say, like, the spirit of Bog Moog comes to your house to like help you get adjusted.
What? Is this like Scooby-Doo Synth edition or something? Like,
everything synth.
Hey, it's Bob. Is it Bob Moog or Mr. Withers?
I don't know.
Like the man that runs the old saloon.
Okay, I said this, Carolyn. I said you and Gus had a connection, and you guys both blew me off. And I said, I feel like you guys are riding a vibe that I'm not on. I'm not threatened by it. But when Gus and Carolyn were chatting at one point, I was like, oh, you guys like are the same age or something. Like there's something, there's a vibe, there's a connection. And they were like, no. And now she's admitting it. She's worried you're related. That's how much the vibe is.
The fact that we're both children of the Ashen. Huh?
Yes. Oh my god, 808 Cow. I don't even know what's happening in the chat at this point. Like it's its own world. Oh my god, Synth Cult returns.
We're Ashen kids,
Oh my god. This got really funny. Oh, jeez. Need a minute. I gotta catch my breath. Oh no, 14 seconds of ads.
I like
no.
Synth Cult. Synth Cult. Excellent. Party time.
Well, obviously, because Wayne's World started as a sketch on SNL, so let's just circle that back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
definitely
what you're
ashes. Catholic ashes.
So, like, because you brought up Wayne's World, but you did the synth version of Wayne's World, obviously one of the sketches in Synth Night Live is going to be if Wayne's World was synth dudes, synth bros.
Yeah. I haven't watched that in years and years and years.
Like literally. I I can't even imagine what it feels like to watch that now. It's
God,
like
it's
an acid trip.
Up.
It's got to be like, it feels like you're doing an acid trip without even taking acid.
Yeah, I wonder if it holds up at all.
I can't. For someone who like literally has no point of reference for it, I can't imagine it hits at all in any way, shape, or form. I can't. I would like that to be an experiment someone does. Like there's that kid on YouTube.
I want to see this kid just dying to it, you know?
There's
it flashes to this like the rehearsal basically.
Oh my god, the rehearsal.
Of like this kid like dying to that show.
There's these kids on YouTube who'll listen to music they've never heard.
Yeah,
they like react to music they've never heard.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
So I'd like to find someone who has no context, who doesn't know what Wayne's World is, never heard of it, no clue what it's even about. So like I want to watch them watch it. I want that.
Gosh.
So yeah, it's gotta be like, cause we on Saturdays we watch sci-fi movies on here.
Okay.
And like there's a lot of stuff because they're old movies, and so like we're always like, yes, look at all the misogyny, yay, look at all of these things. Let's look at them. And there's just something about the 90s stuff that hits a little bit deeper because you're like, we thought we were like doing it. And then you watch and you're like, not even close, guys. We were nowhere near the target. Couldn't have been further.
Is there anything y'all have watched that has held up?
Ooh, like sci-fi wise, anything that's really like set in outer space is usually okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's already like suspending from reality.
I remember watching like Sister Act.
Ooh.
Pretty recently. And that held up really well.
Wow.
Surprisingly. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly,
I could imagine that holding up pretty well.
I rode a lot of charter buses as a kid. Does anybody remember charter buses? No. Doing sports and stuff. So like if you did organize things, like you were in it, I did cheerleading. So I rode a lot of charter buses, and they always had a small TV. Like any kind of public transportation where there's, for whatever reason, TVs. And they would you pick the movie we're going to watch as a group on the bus. And Sister Act was a very, very common choice. Sister Act and Sister Act 2. Which I'm going to say Sister Act 2. Essentially the better movie.
Oh, wow.
Which is rare with a sequel. For me to even care about it that much.
That was the one with the kids, right?
Of both 1 and 2 by me real quick.
With the kids, with Lauryn Hill,
Yeah, Lauryn Hill, yeah.
2 had Lauryn Hill?
2 had Lauryn Hill.
Oh, 2 had Lauryn Hill, is the one.
2 is the one, exactly.
Yeah, come on. 2 is the way.
I mean, 1 is obviously important to build the foundation of the story, and it's classic, and I'm glad that it holds up. Not surprised. I mean, Whoopi movies holding up. They felt radical at the time, right? So, like, that's not a surprise. I used to watch
Ghosts, like, all the time.
I mean, she was in a lot of movies that were on whatever USA Network and stuff that was just on. You have, like, 3 channels, and that's just what's on. Her movies were on a lot, and they were always good. Yeah. I did not expect for us to end up in Whoopi Goldberg land. But here we are, and this is the beauty. This is the beauty of Synth Friends, is that
we get to talk about 90s stuff. It's bound to get to Whoopi at some point.
From Kesha to Whoopi Goldberg, we cover
all the synth topics here.
Synth Friends.
We can't help ourselves for some reason. Like the 90s nostalgia is strong.
Thanks for being a part of it. All you guys.
But I really did not, when we were talking about movies there for a minute, I did not expect Sister Act to come up. Like, that really threw me. I was like, okay. A favorite of mine I hadn't thought about in a long time.
This is not sci-fi, but we're talking about the 90s. It kind of, like, makes sense to talk about.
I love it.
You can't talk about the 90s without talking about Sister Act.
No.
I agree.
I also recently found the soundtrack to Sister Act on vinyl.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Felt like
why are we doing that?
That was a little bit of a record screech moment.
It was. I was like, why are we doing this? Why was this on vinyl? It was not the vinyl era. So they remade it recently on vinyl. The Sister Act soundtrack.
That's wild.
Which is, I guess, just like oldies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of makes sense, actually. I take it back. I retract my outrage. Let's see. I don't know what's going on in the chat anymore. We've been all over the place with this Whoopi Goldberg chat. Oh my goodness. Okay.
It was a good choice of topic, I feel.
It really got me going. That's clear.
Really got me.
The Gargoyles cartoon really holds up. Yeah.
Oh.
I would agree.
That's right.
Yeah.
We were talking about if things hold up or not.
I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of that.
This is all. Are you sure? You haven't referenced that to me before?
I don't think so.
What is the Gargoyles cartoon about? I actually have no idea.
What network was it on?
What
network was it on?
I guess it's like
I
answer
don't
in the
remember,
chat
but
now.
I remember it was like back to back with like the Batman show at the time.
Oh, is it
the Batman cartoon?
USA.
I don't know.
That sounds right. USA, was it on USA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a more gritty.
Well, then I've seen it. Of course I've seen it. It was on USA.
Oh no, Daniel's like, no, don't do it. We're not going down a Gargoyles rabbit hole. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god, I didn't know
We do
it was
not
gonna
have
be
6
like
hours.
Oh my god.
Daniel, we'll have a separate call about this.
Okay, let's schedule it.
Yeah, you, Jackson.
I need to know. Sorry.
We'll have
my gosh.
It's been a while since we've had a little Daniel briefs us on something that we aren't
Pop
initiated
culture.
on.
We're not. There's so many pop culture things I don't know. Is there anything you feel like you had to like revisit that maybe you didn't grab that's like really I don't have enough parameters to this question to make it easy to answer, but it was just a thought of like, yeah, like I didn't see any Star Wars until I was older. Or
I still haven't seen the original Star Wars.
Okay, there we go. I found it. I feel like a psychic. I was like reaching for it.
Yeah,
I love sci-fi. I have not seen the original like Star Wars or Star Trek.
Okay, have you seen any Star Wars?
I've seen like a few of the newer ones.
Wow.
After the first trilogy, like I've seen like basically all of those.
So like the newest ones. The
newest one, and then the trilogy before that everyone.
Oh, the prequels.
Like for some reason, yeah.
Wait, you've seen all of Star Wars except for the actual good Star Wars?
I know.
Wow, what a weird way to come at it. I love this.
Yeah,
everyone has
wild,
their story, right? Synths and Star Wars, how we all got there. What order we watched it in first. Wow, that is. I'm excited for you that that's still something you get to experience because, man, it's so much better than most.
I actually started watching Star Trek from the beginning, like a year ago.
Like OG 60s Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
It actually like holds up really well. There is some like really crazy episodes where I'm just like, oh shit, this is really good.
they can. There's a few of them that get pretty like psychological thriller, like fun topics and stuff. Like,
and I love the old outfits.
You would enjoy our movie nights
and everything.
Oh, we love it. I feel like the fact that it's in color, you know, and like it's so vibrant and trippy and like just like how can I not have fun with this? It's so fun. And then they're always like, oops, we tripped on this mystical substance on this planet and like all this weird stuff happened. It's like, yeah, definitely sign me up.
The costumes are great. They're so great.
It's so good. Oh my god, you're making me want to watch that again. Yeah, those God, don't get me started. But obviously, like you were saying, like sci-fi is so fun just because like we can tell stories that we really want to tell without like being overt about them. And But on top of that, the old stuff is like retro and groovy and like weird and like counterculture. And like, I just love that convergence. I think it's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
what a weird
And I feel
time.
like it's now with our sci-fi, we're trying to go more retro with it, oddly enough.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting to see. Us do that style with our new technology. I don't know.
I'm not super into it, but I'm drawn to it because of those elements, but I don't like love it because there's
I would take a gig out of it.
I would make music for it, but
you
you can't like we're pretty nostalgic for like the way that the like film makes you feel, or tape. So that's why we like to play with field recordings and tape loops and stuff like that, because there's just something else to it, something other. So like when you take the aesthetic of that, but then like do it now with like your modern CGI,
it kind of doesn't do it. Yeah,
it's like, what are you trying to even do? But I'm not totally mad, just because I feel like we've gotten a lot of really good sci-fi lately, and I'm like, keep it coming, let's just keep making it. I'm fine. I need more to consume.
Well, that, and we've been really into the new Lord of the Rings stuff.
Okay, I did take a little fantasy turn, which I don't normally do, and I got sucked into the Power of the Rings. Have you seen it?
I think
I don't know spoilers,
I am in the middle of it right now.
Okay, cool.
Which I think has benefited largely from CGI. Like, I feel
it's like the one thing that actually looks good for once.
Yeah, I feel like it would not be possible, like, to even conceive of, like, I mean, if you think about it, like, The Hobbit was, the original was the cartoon.
Right.
And then we've evolved into, as
variations
the technology came along, we were able to make the films. And, like, the newest stuff, I feel like, really benefits from that on a level where it's starting to get quality again. Like, it was almost like we were like breaching like what the possibilities, like with the earlier
It wasn't
films.
keeping pace with how it actually looked.
Yeah, and I feel like now, like, it's just really solid, and I've really enjoyed watching the.
I know you were kind of reticent, and I was like, well, I want to see it because everyone has such a strong opinion about it that it always makes me go, okay, well, what do I think? What's really going on here? But then I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. This is so immersive.
Yeah, I've been watching it very slowly. I think that it hasn't grabbed me as much as other things that I'm watching right now have. But I am like, I'm getting through it, and it's like, it's a nice. I like what they're doing with this new iteration of Lord of the Rings.
I don't have super strong feelings about what they're doing with the universe, but I do remember it took a couple episodes, like maybe even 4 or 5, before I was like, oh, I think I'm at
4 or 5.
Yeah, I was like, this is good and I'm enjoying it, but then it was like, no, I love this. I need another season of this.
And I think you have to be in the mood for it too. It's like it's like a good RPG. Like, you have to be in the mood to, like, want to go into that universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And explore.
What have you watched recently that you've like what was the last like new-ish sci-fi thing that you've seen?
Show or movie?
Show or movie, whichever.
For All Mankind. For All Mankind.
And The Expanse.
But For All Mankind is like
For All Mankind was really, really good. Yeah.
The Expanse was until we had seen For All Mankind, Expanse was like our favorite new thing for sure. But For All Mankind is so different. They're completely different, right? Like The Expanse is literally sci-fi, a world that doesn't exist, whereas For All Mankind is historical fiction. So completely different genres almost. But
I almost would consider For All Mankind sci-fi.
It's more of a
because of the fictional aspect.
It gets pretty wild.
Of the
I've heard good things.
You get to spend a lot of time on other places, like from the point of view of being an astronaut in other parts of the galaxy, which I find amazing. I love it.
Would you consider it sci-fi if it didn't veer from what actually happened IRL?
No, it depends.
So that's what makes it sci-fi then.
It is kind of a drama, really. Like it's a sci-fi drama.
Yeah. Is it like alternative history?
Yeah. It's like, what if the space race never ended because... Well, I don't want to ruin it for you. It happens like right at the very beginning. They kind of give you the twist like right at the beginning, but it's like, what if blah happened instead and the space race continued in this direction? And the reason it's sci-fi is because that didn't happen and we haven't gone to some of the places that they go.
Right. Yeah.
And I love it. But The Expanse is like, oh, like
I've heard good things about that too.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, good. I was just gonna say, it's like I can't wait to like rewatch it and have that experience.
Yeah.
Have you seen Battlestar Galactica?
Yes, 100% have. Yes, I love it.
I would put The Expanse in that same container.
Yeah.
Really?
Like,
okay.
For like, it's completely different, but like, man, the first 2-3 seasons of The Expanse are the most gripping like modern sci-fi I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And then, it has its ups and downs after that. We went through COVID. Things got a little touch and go.
What was the name of that one that you said you were happy to see that it came back? And it was about the two people on the planet and they're like not human and they're raising the child and they're like having to keep them from the weird things that are happening on the planet.
That's The Expanse.
Because they shipwrecked on the planet. No, it was this other show.
Oh crap! But they live on a planet.
Yeah.
Oh! That's on HBO.
Yeah, what's the name of it?
And I didn't watch the second season because people said it was bad, and I was like, oh, the first season was so good. Something Running with Wolves or something like that.
Yeah, it had a real weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved the first season.
Yes.
Yeah, the second season was the CGI was so bad.
Oh, okay.
I could not get over the CGI, and the story was just like so meandering. I don't know.
That first season was
I couldn't finish
amazing though, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I loved it.
I mean, if it was a movie, I would say that's like deserving of an Oscar.
Yeah.
If that season was a movie, it was the best storytelling.
I didn't realize the second season shit the bed. Yeah, I had no idea.
I've never seen like all of my favorite elements of sci-fi come together at a level, like the production quality of like being on another world like that. I've just never seen anything that good. So to hear that the second season, like those elements aren't as good, like what? That's what made it good.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It feels like they like hired someone's cousin to do like the script and the CGI for it for the second season. I was just like, what happened?
Huh. It does. It probably is like they didn't think they'd maybe get a second season and then they did, and it was COVID and like
that happens a lot. I hate when that happens though, because it's like, dude, like why do you want to catch an entire show team off guard?
Yeah.
Make them have to come up with another
I
thing.
was very of the like, don't like let shows end if like, because the way the pandemic affected our ability to get new content. It was like, I need content, I don't care, do it even if it's bad. And I was very much like, let's take a long nap. Like I don't want half-assed my favorite shows, like they're in their like 4th season or something, and like we can't film right now, we're gonna do some shitty version of something. Like, no, just wait. Wait it out.
Obviously.
Don't ruin the story for us.
We talk about this all the time. I would much rather, wait it out. Like, wait as long as
That's my final verdict as the ruler of the universe.
Yeah. Some folks did that, and I appreciate them for that.
Yes.
Some
people just let their shows end.
Kind of went ahead with it.
Yeah, or let it end and whatever.
Like, it's not happy. It's not what we wanted to happen, but that's what happened. And I just think some of the choices were like, okay, this ruined it for me now. Wow, we got strong opinions about the TV right now.
We sure do. Hopefully everyone has the same opinions as us in the chat.
Clearly. Everyone in the chat agrees, so they're just like, you know what? We're not going to say anything. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was really fun, and I can tell that we would be able to hang and like just talk about this shit for hours.
Absolutely, yes.
Start field recording weird stuff and then wander into an abandoned
go to
prison.
your favorite park and annoy the neighbors with our synths.
The one
park out.
But it sounds like you have a lot of really cool stuff where you're at, so we'd probably want to come to where you are.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Sounds way more exciting. A lot of haunted stuff there, I would imagine.
Is that a hydrosynth in the background?
Sure is.
Nice. We never talked about your synth.
We didn't talk about your setup behind you. That's true.
That's cool. Hydrosynth was actually created by, or at least co-created by, I think, one of the main Electron guys from back in the day.
Yeah.
Daniel Troberg.
Yep. This was my like little tiptoe into modular, because it's basically you could do a lot of modular stuff with the hydrosynth
in the internal
with the mod matrix and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've never actually played with them myself, but I've heard good things.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. We put a little synth bow on the conversation. Well, I'm going to throw your website in the chat one more time, so everybody go find out more about all the things, the music and where to find all the other things you'd want to stay connected with Ash. And are we oh yes, Daniel's reminding us we're supposed to ask you at the end of this conversation if we can be synth friends. Have we passed the test?
Cool.
Oh, and it says we're running out of time, so just in time. I thought it was going to kick us out right as we asked that.
Absolutely, yes. I feel like there's in other languages there are a lot of different words for love, and that there should be more words for like different levels of friendship in English. So we're like on the way to friendship, but you know what I mean?
I love that. I know exactly what you mean. We are a type of friend. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's the potential is there for true.
We're on the friendship superhighway.
The friend synth.
Friend synth superhighway.
Yeah, that's really fun to say. So.
Yeah, it was a barrel of monkeys.
It was like slurping noodles.
It was a blast.
On board! Yay! Oh, I'm so glad you thought this was fun, Reanism. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
you
for
joining us.
Thank you.
A lot of familiar people in the chat tonight, making it fun.
Yeah, that's super fun. I can tell that our universes are overlapping more than we realized. I love that. Okay, thank you so much again. We will be chatting on the internet some more, and if anything changes in the world and we get to collide in real life, we will look forward to that very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. We will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Let's not be right back. There we are. Wow, all aboard. I love it. Wow, we covered so much ground in this Synth Friends episode. I think
I'm frozen. Wait, I can't say I'm frozen.
You can't say you're frozen when you're pretending to be frozen. That's hilarious. Oh, thank you, Matt Thoko, for the follow, and Mick Rodos. Love it. I didn't see those follows for some reason, so thank you so much. This was super fun, and oh gosh, wow. We just missing 1 week, and I'm like, God, this is so fun. Like, I really needed this in my life last week, but I was way too out of it.
I know. I thought I was gonna have a conniption fit.
I was way too out of it, but I was also like, no, I don't want to miss the thread. So
thought I was gonna go into conversions.
Just a reminder that our early bird holiday experience has started, and if you want to join us, you need to be on the list.
Gotta be on the list.
From hallowed ground to haunted ground. Yeah, that was really cool to hear that again. The like Kesha stuff came up. Like, how funny is that?
Gotta get on the list to get all our shit.
Gotta get on the list to get all our shit. I love that. Oh man.
Gotta get on the list to get all that.
Oh wow. So this was definitely like getting back into the swing of things here, and we have so much fun stuff planned for the next couple weeks through the end of the year. Really, honestly, like Synth Friends is lit. It's lighting up, And
you won't believe the kind of people we got lined up for you guys. I mean, I'm talking.
We got some pretty exciting things.
Legend. Like people that you've only heard of. People you've only pretended to know. People
Where is
that
this gonna go?
invented the sport, motherfucker.
That's so funny. That is sort of true, I guess. Kind of, sort of true. But yeah, I think it's just sort of like taking on a life of its own, and it's really fun. So we're just going to keep doing it. But I would just say like the main thing to focus on is just like the holiday stuff, because we're doing some really fun things we've never done before, and we want you to be part of that so that you can have the best experience possible with what we have planned. And I think it's going to be really fun. Like, I'm really stoked. I'm kind of like this, even working on preparing it to share with y'all has like brought me a lot of joy. So
I am beyond. I mean, beyond.
Beyond? Really?
Yeah, I'm beyond.
Beyond is beyond.
Beyond.
So yeah, that's what we have going on. That's the main thing to pay attention to if you want to be part of that. And then obviously join the Discord for Saturday's movie night, so you can choose or vote on the movie that we're going to watch. That's very important to be part of because it's really fun and you get to decide.
Help us decide what we watch for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, basically.
Help us decide. Be part. Be the change.
Be the change. So I honestly find it really fun. Like, obviously I have to put together like what options we're going to choose from for, what to vote on. But beyond that, having everybody decide for us is really fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
She likes it a lot.
All right, let me grab somebody to raid.
None of our favorite people, except for that one, are here.
We're going to check out some music stuff. I hope you'll stick around and raid with us.
Yeah.
So we can spread this good cheer.
They want to remind us what it's like when you still live in your hometown after you graduate high school.
So yeah, another very, very fun Synth Friends. I'm so glad that Ash could join us. Definitely, give them a follow on Instagram. Check out what they're doing on YouTube. Go to their website. Grab some of their music from Bandcamp. If you love all that noise synth stuff, which we know you do.
You know you do.
You know you do.
You know you like a fart sound.
Well, thanks for being with us. We will see you on Saturday, and we will see you in the Discord. And we will see you next time.